Lauren is pregnant. Let's get divorced.
Here's the divorce papers. I'm quitting caregiving. Justin made this shocking statement to me, who was taking care of his mom alone. However, I didn't even bat an eye at his words. In fact, I obediently handed him the prepared divorce papers.
What? Keep caring for my mom.
No way, because Lauren is. Justin was bewildered by my calm response. I then revealed Lauren's secret to him. My name is Nancy White. I've been married to Justin for 5 years. Now, I'm considering divorcing him. What triggered this thought was Justin taking his phone to the bathroom. He used to be indifferent to messages from others, but recently, he's been clinging to his phone. Even during meals, he places his phone on the table and sneaks it with him when he leaves the room. The beginning of my suspicion was when he, who had no interest in mobile games or apps, suddenly started behaving like this. When we first got married, there was no sign of cheating at all. When we were dating, he seemed like the most serious guy, someone who would never cheat, which is why I married him. I never imagined I would ever doubt him like this. Another reason I decided to marry him was because his workplace was almost entirely male. He's not bad looking, so if there had been female employees, I might have suspected he would cheat. But the only women at his workplace were a few older employees. Most of them were in their late 50s, much older than us. It seemed unlikely that Justin would be interested in them. If anyone, it would be my sister, Lauren. When I was in elementary school, my mom remarried and we started living with my stepdad and Lauren. She is my stepdad's daughter, and we never got along. Lauren always had a queen bee attitude and treated me poorly. There was a time when the house was full of tension because I stood up to her. However, she was very charming and had a talent for wrapping men around her finger. My stepdad never questioned anything she said, and my mom adored him so much that there wasn't a single person in the house who sided with me. Lauren would do anything to make herself look good. She didn't care if she treated her sister like dirt or used her like an old rag, as long as she was satisfied. She couldn't care less what happened afterward. That's just the kind of person she was. As someone who tried to empathize with others' pain, I was fed up with her tyranny.
Lauren must be lonely because she doesn't have any siblings, so she's probably just relying on you. Forgive her. One day, she'll realize your kindness.
Whenever I complained about Lauren to my mom, she always persuaded me to put up with it. My mom adored my stepdad completely. She was so in love with him that she couldn't see anything else, and he took advantage of this to have affairs with multiple women. As a salesperson at an IT company, he was on business trips most of the year. He was rarely home. So, no matter what he did, my mom never noticed. She believed that she was loved by him and trusted him completely. I started to sense something was off with my stepdad when I was in the upper grades of elementary school. He began to obsessively use his phone, even during meals, keeping it close at all times. It was too late to be just work-related calls, and the look on his face when he received messages was disturbing. He would always check his phone when my mom wasn't looking, and he'd smirk while replying. Although he never showed such behavior before, recently, he doesn't even try to hide it. He must have known my mom was obsessed with him. Out of curiosity, I peeked at his phone and found a series of messages with unknown women, arranging secret meetings and nightly rendezvous. Seeing that, I felt utter contempt for him. I was filled with hatred for him, who took advantage of my mom's feelings and played with her.
Your mom's a fool too, right? A man like my dad wouldn't settle for a woman like her.
Lauren had noticed his behavior. She knew why my stepdad married my mom and made a shocking statement to me.
My dad married your mom because he wanted a convenient woman. Your mom is a great cook and good at housework. For a man like my dad, who isn't struggling financially, it's perfect. She takes care of the kids and gives him his own time. It's a win-win situation. She was used and manipulated for that reason alone.
Listening to Lauren mockingly laugh, I felt a surge of anger. My mom respected my stepdad and worked hard at cooking to gain his approval. I supported my mom's efforts and wanted her to be happy. This dad and daughter duo trampled and toyed with my mom's feelings. I couldn't forgive them. I told my mom about it, but she was probably brainwashed by my stepdad. She didn't listen to me at all. In fact, my mom yelled at me, saying it was terrible to talk about my stepdad like that. After that, I gave up trying to convince her. There was no one in this house who cared about me. I felt like I had no place here. My life took a turn when I decided to go to high school. I heard that a close friend was going to a high school in New York. She planned to move there and look for a job afterward. The moment I heard that, I decided to move to New York too. I left home. I entered a high school student dormitory and started working part-time job after school. That's where I met Justin. Justin had great communication skills and was very popular at the part-time job. He was efficient at work and liked by both men and women, a real leader. He was admired by older women, perhaps because he was a little careless. We grew closer at the Christmas party at the workplace. We ended up sitting next to each other and discovered we liked the same music band. From there, we hit it off and started hanging out outside of work. Gradually, we became closer and naturally started dating. I got married on my 25th birthday. We started living together and had a happy life until that day when Lauren visited our home.
Long time no see. I moved here too, so I thought I'd drop by.
Lauren had left her parents' house and moved to New York, just like I did. I couldn't hide my surprise at Lauren's unexpected move. Why are you here, Lauren? Weren't you supposed to have a job back there?
Salaries don't increase much there, and I've always dreamed of living in the city, so I took the plunge and moved.
I knew that was a lie. Lauren wouldn't move here for such a reason. There must be something more. I suspected her, but time passed without me knowing her true intentions.
Hi there. I came over again today.
It's been 5 years since Lauren moved to New York. She started hanging out at our house all the time. The reason was Justin. Lauren began to show interest in Justin around this time. Justin works at a construction company and has weekends off, so Lauren visited our house every weekend. Since she works for a subcontractor of Justin's company, she knows his days off. Claiming she had no friends in New York, she frequently came over to our house.
Hey, Lauren, you're here again today.
Hi, Justin. Yeah, I just came by again.
With a playful tone, Lauren quickly sidled up next to Justin. She took her usual spot beside him and looked at me with a triumphant smile. That smile made my anger boil, and Justin only made it worse.
Come over anytime. It's lonely with just Nancy and me. I'm glad you visit us, Lauren.
Justin, clearly pleased, stretched out his nose. His gaze lingered not on her eyes but on her chest, which made me feel disgusted. Lauren noticed Justin's gaze and, using her body, linked her arm with his, pressing her chest against him. How many times had I seen this scene? Even when I told them this wasn't a hostess bar, they wouldn't listen.
Are you going through menopause or something? You always get so cranky when Lauren comes over. Stop it. You're just being unfair to her.
Justin is so kind. I might start to like him. But don't worry. Nancy is just jealous because she sees how well you treat me. We're not in that kind of relationship.
Nodding in agreement, they exchanged glances. I couldn't believe Lauren's words. Lauren always had a habit of taking what was mine. She would cause a fuss when I got a new toy, making her parents miserable. In middle school, she got jealous if her friends and I got close, driving them away from me. Lauren always felt inferior and tried to take whatever I had. She started coming to our house every weekend. It made me anxious. And it was around that time Justin began carrying his phone with him everywhere, even taking it to the bathroom, just like my stepdad did. I instinctively felt he was cheating. That thought crossed my mind. However, I couldn't find the time to investigate the truth. The reason was my mother-in-law, Julie's caregiving. Justin had asked me to take care of Julie in between my work shifts.
Mom's waiting for a spot in a nursing home. Until we find a place for her, you need to take care of her.
Why me? Have you forgotten all the things Julie has said to me? Julie and I didn't get along very well. When we first got married, things were okay, but Julie was quite meddlesome and often visited our home. Since my father-in-law had passed away early, she must have been lonely. As a result, Julie and Lauren interacted frequently. The two of them would bond and get excited in front of me while I cooked meals and didn't get any personal time. The exhausting life became too much, and I asked Justin to reduce Julie's visits. When Justin conveyed this to Julie, our relationship soured. Julie started berating me, saying she was worried and checking in on us.
How could you be so ungrateful? I'm doing this out of concern for you.
Hearing Julie's patronizing words, I realized it would be difficult to have a good relationship with her, and I began to avoid her. After treating me like that, now you expect me to take care of Julie. Do you really think I can do it happily?
So, you're just going to abandon my mom. I'm out working from morning till night, and I'm the primary breadwinner here, right? If you're going to be so selfish and neglect my mom, then you should earn as much as I do. Then I'll quit my job and take care of her myself.
I had no response. Even though I work from home, my monthly earnings are just under $2,000. Meanwhile, Justin earns over $3,500 after taxes. It would be hard to match his salary with my current job. Plus, I do have more time available. With no words to argue, I reluctantly agreed to take care of Julie. And so, I found myself juggling work and caregiving. This life turned out to be a nightmare. Julie needed physical assistance and had mild dementia. She needed prompts for everything, and sudden changes upset her, leading to frequent tantrums. She remembered the past well, so she would yell at me whenever she saw me, demanding Lauren instead of me.
If only a caring daughter-in-law like Lauren had come instead of someone as heartless as you. You repay kindness with cruelty and still show up with a straight face.
Each time she said that, it left deep wounds in my heart. I can't count how many times I felt hatred toward Julie. But there were also moments when she showed gratitude. She would cry and apologize for her outbursts, and sometimes she calmly explained why she had visited us so often.
Justin has always had a habit of trying to please everyone. He seemed happy with you, but you two didn't have kids. I was worried he might turn to another woman, so I kept an eye on him. I was glad when you and Justin got married. I wanted to protect your happiness.
Julie's words, "You don't understand how I feel," echoed in my mind. The moment I understood her words, tears flowed uncontrollably. Julie visited our home to stop him from straying. She wasn't worried about Justin, she was worried about me. I hadn't realized Julie's kindness and had neglected her. I deeply regretted that, and from then on, even when Julie mentioned Lauren, I chose to endure out of guilt. But then, tragedy struck unexpectedly.
Lauren is pregnant. Let's get divorced.
Justin had gotten Lauren pregnant. It turned out they had indeed developed a romantic relationship. I felt calm, thinking it was exactly as I had expected, rather than being shocked. What do you mean?
Just what I said. Lauren is pregnant. I have to acknowledge the child as the father and take responsibility by marrying her. Otherwise, Lauren and the baby would be pitiful, right?
Pitiful? Justin's words filled me with hatred. He worried about Lauren and the baby, but didn't care about me at all. Even though I was his wife, he saw me as an obstacle.
It would be sad and pitiful for the child not to have a father. Luckily, we don't have kids, so there's no problem if we divorce, right? You can live on your own income. Our love had already faded, hadn't it?
As Justin spoke, laughing, I snapped and pulled out the divorce papers from the living room drawer. When we got married, we had a huge fight over our differing values. That's when Justin brought the divorce papers. Both of our signatures were already on it. All that was left was to submit it to the office. Even though we reached that point, we calmed down and decided not to divorce after talking it through. I kept the divorce papers just in case something happened. Here's the divorce papers. I'm quitting caregiving. When I showed him the papers, Justin smirked. He probably thought he could finally be happy with Lauren and be free from this nightmare. But life isn't that simple. When I immediately said I was done with caregiving, he frowned in confusion.
What? You still need to take care of my mom.
Justin was startled by my sudden declaration to stop caregiving. He hurriedly interrupted, looking at me as if to say, "Wait a minute. Why, we're not even married anymore, so I have no obligation to take care of Julie."
You owe her. Are you not going to repay that debt?
Justin's irritation grew as he repeated words about debt without understanding what Julie really meant. You didn't even know why Julie did what she did, so stop pretending you do.
What did you say?
This wouldn't have happened if you had been responsible. Do you even realize how reckless and careless your actions have been, cheating and behaving so shamelessly? My blunt honesty must have irritated him. Justin began to raise his voice.
It's your fault for not being able to have kids. You couldn't satisfy me as a woman. And a lowlife like you has no right to complain about my cheating. You didn't even try to improve yourself.
No matter what I said, Justin would respond with nonsensical arguments. His behavior was so appalling that I couldn't help but sigh.
You couldn't satisfy me as a woman, so the least you can do is continue caregiving. Lauren and I have jobs, and soon a baby. We can't take care of my mom. Isn't Lauren your sister? Don't you feel any obligation to help her out now that she's having a baby?
No way, because Lauren is. Justin was determined to make me do the caregiving. But I revealed a shocking truth to him. She's not my real sister or anything, just a stranger. Why should I waste my precious time on someone like that?
What?
It was the first time he heard about my family situation. Justin looked confused by what I said. My mom and dad remarried. Both had kids from previous marriages. So Lauren and I are not related by blood. And they divorced last month after Lauren's dad's affair was discovered, and my mom left the house. Just as my mom asked me to live with her, your request for a divorce came at the perfect time. I knew about you and Lauren cheating, and I was about to bring it up myself. It was shocking enough for him to learn Lauren wasn't my real sister, but he didn't expect that I knew about their affair. Justin's dumbfounded face was so ridiculous that I almost burst out laughing. By the way, Lauren's dad is a real piece of work. He can't stand it if the house isn't spotless every day, and he thinks anyone who doesn't respect the eldest family member is trash. He'd get furious if anyone started eating before he did. Living at home was suffocating. I hated it so much that I left home when I was in high school just to get away from that family. Hearing the unexpected details, Justin's face turned pale. Realizing he had fallen right into Lauren's trap, he suddenly became anxious about the future. His reaction was so amusing that I couldn't help but laugh. Well, congratulations on the divorce. You were planning to live with Lauren and her dad after divorcing me, right? I'm sure your future will be so happy now.
How do you know that?
He could understand me guessing about living with Lauren, but he was puzzled by how I knew about her dad. The answer was simple. I had thoroughly investigated the two of them. I used my savings to hire a private investigator and asked them to look into Justin and Lauren. They also looked into Lauren's dad. It turned out that Justin and Lauren were planning to live with her dad. Not knowing what kind of person Lauren's dad was, Justin agreed to live with him to stay in Lauren's good graces. But this was a huge mistake for him. Lauren pushed Justin into this because she wasn't confident about living alone with her dad. She knew it. She knew her dad was an incredibly difficult person. Why do you think? Figure it out yourself. Oh wait, you can't. If you had any brains, you wouldn't have agreed to such a ridiculous arrangement.
You bastard.
Justin, filled with anger at my taunting words, looked like he was about to raise his fist. I quickly pulled out my phone and pointed the camera at him. Go ahead, hit me if you want. I'll just take this evidence to the police. Then what will happen to your plans to marry Lauren? What will her dad say? And think about the Pua kid. If they find out their dad is a criminal, they might get bullied at school.
Damn it.
Justin had no guts. As soon as he heard police, he backed down, glaring at me with frustration. Let me tell you something else, Justin. My mom is divorcing my stepdad because of his affair. he has to pay a huge amount in alimony, and you're going to have to pay alimony too, which means you'll be living in poverty. And with a baby on the way, even if you make more than average, this is going to be tough. I told him this with a mocking smile, and his face turned pale. He held his head, realizing how foolish his thinking had been. By the way, Lauren will also be paying alimony.
Holy shit.
He was stunned when I added that. Of course, it's not going to end with just one of you. An unmarried person took a husband from a married woman. Even if we were once family, I wouldn't let this slide. It baffled me how he thought only he would have to pay and everything would be fine. I've suffered a lot because of Lauren, so I'll make sure to collect what I'm owed. From now on, you'll have to take care of Julie, Lauren's dad, and Lauren herself. You'll be busy paying alimony for all three of them. What a hellish life. I would never want that. It would have been smarter to beg Lauren to give up and live with me instead. Hearing this, Justin probably thought I would help if he apologized. He ran over to me on the verge of tears and started to beg.
Please, can't you do something? I didn't think it would turn out like this.
Realizing his foolishness, Justin desperately tried to get me to reconsider the divorce. But that wouldn't work on me. I had lost all affection for Justin a long time ago. Can you give up already? I can't stand the sight of you anymore. I'm so happy to finally be free from you. Thanks to your shameless behavior, I can even ask for more alimony. I couldn't be more grateful. I'm finally free, and I'm filled with a sense of liberation. As I spread my arms to celebrate this happiness, Justin, refusing to give up, grabbed the hem of my pants and begged.
Please, don't say that. Reconsider. Otherwise, I'll be living in hell from now on.
That's not my problem. I coldly dismissed him. When I was suffering, he only cared about himself and never considered my feelings. The resentment and hurt from those times would never fade. I would never let it be forgotten. My eyes must have shown that determination. Seeing my expression, Justin faltered and backed away from me. Whatever you do or whatever happens to you is none of my concern. You brought this on yourself. Don't ask me for help. Just talking to you raises my stress levels. I hate seeing your face and even breathing the same air as you. Do you understand? If I could erase my memories and get rid of every moment with you, I would. Now, can you leave? The title of this house is still in my name. With that, I gathered Justin's things and threw them towards the front door. This house where we currently lived was something I got through my cousin, a real estate agent, who helped me get a good deal right after I started working. Since Justin was also looking for a place to live, he didn't oppose me signing the lease, and he moved into my house, starting our cohabitation. That eventually led to marriage.
You've got to be kidding me. You're acting like this after everything I've done for you. This is your fault for not treating me right.
When he threw his belongings, he must have been really annoyed. Despite being filmed by my phone's camera, he raised his fist at me. At that moment, the front door unlocked, and to my surprise, a detective and my mom came to my rescue.
That's enough, Justin.
Get away from Nancy.
Jesus Christ. Wait, who are you?
Immediately, the detective restrained Justin. Justin, being slimmer than average, was no match for the well-built detective who held him firmly, preventing any movement. My mom hugged me protectively, glaring at Justin with sharp eyes.
I'm a private investigator hired by Nancy. I've been recording everything with hidden cameras, and this footage will serve as evidence.
Hearing the word camera, Justin regained some composure, but his face turned pale with despair. Since I didn't fully trust my phone's camera, I had the detectives set up hidden cameras beforehand. Now, I had all the evidence of Justin's abusive behavior, with witnesses to back it up. Justin's life was completely ruined, and he realized it, falling silent.
Your actions just now constitute assault. If you don't want to make things worse, take your stuff and leave quietly. You don't have a chance of winning this.
Hearing the detective's words, Justin stopped resisting.
Nancy, I'm really sorry. I was wrong. This was all my fault. Please, give me one more chance.
Enough. Although he stopped resisting, his desire for forgiveness hadn't disappeared. Justin, with tears in his eyes, begged me for another chance. But I delivered the final blow. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. That's why I had you sign the divorce papers. You were the one who wanted the divorce, so don't start whining now. You chose to abandon me for your pleasures. It's too late for regrets. I have no lingering feelings for you, no affection. I feel nothing. Now get out. My lawyer will handle any further communication. This was the first time I had spoken so clearly to Justin. Seeing my cold demeanor, he finally gave up, gathered his things, and left. And so, I was freed from years of bondage, truly liberated. I immediately contacted the lawyer the detective recommended and filed the divorce papers. With ample evidence and Justin's outrageous behavior during our talks, I was awarded nearly $80,000 in alimony.
You've got to be kidding. Why should I have to pay such an amount? We were family. How can you demand money from your sister?
When I told Lauren about the alimony, she predictably exploded with anger. Her dad, standing beside her, joined in attacking me. But I had my lawyer present, who logically cornered them both.
You were sisters, not by blood, and while you flaunt that relationship, you took your sister's husband. That's a grave offense and not something excusable just because you're family. You destroyed a family.
Lauren couldn't respond to the lawyer's argument. I took the opportunity to express my long-held resentment. I will never forgive you for what you've done to me, even more than Justin. I'll make sure you pay for everything just like you did to me. Be prepared. Don't think you'll get away with just paying money. Without getting emotional, I delivered the words with a cold gaze and tone, causing a shiver to run through Lauren. She trembled with fear. I asked my lawyer to pursue the matter to the fullest extent. Thanks to him, Lauren was charged $50,000 in alimony. As a result, Lauren and Justin were now burdened with nearly $200,000 in debt. My mom's claim against her ex-husband also exceeded $50,000, plunging them into a hell of debt. But that wasn't the end of it. Another shocking revelation came to light. The child Lauren was carrying wasn't Justin's. It turned out that Lauren had been seeing another man while she was with Justin. The child Lauren was carrying was actually fathered by another man, not Justin. That man happened to be a junior colleague at Justin's company. The junior colleague, knowing about Lauren's infidelity, refused to acknowledge the child. When he heard about Lauren's plan to remarry Justin, he exposed her misdeeds within the company. Both Justin and Lauren were fired from their jobs, shunned by acquaintances, and divorced just 1 month after remarrying. Lauren ended up having to pay alimony to Justin, leading to her financial ruin. They now work day-to-day jobs to pay off their debts. Since then, I've been living with my mom.
The moment I left him, I vowed to protect you, Nancy.
My mom actually helped me with hiring the detective. Her support gave me the courage to divorce Justin and face him head-on.
From now on, no matter what happens, I'm on your side.
My mom supported me just as she had promised. After the divorce, I used my computer skills to start an online business. Working from home, I created a community for people who couldn't attend school, providing an online environment similar to a free school. I developed curricula to support the education of kids who couldn't go to school and taught them the necessary computer skills they would need in the future. I went through a lot of pain without having anyone to talk to. I don't want young people to experience the same thing. I said in a magazine interview, these words caught the attention of many people, and now I receive numerous interview requests from TV stations. Thanks to this exposure, my business has flourished. I've received words of gratitude from many families who use our services. Encouraged by these words, I plan to continue creating safe spaces where I can help others